Why are you so pissed off? You're not paying that much.
Here they come, yo. Here they come. Here they come. This or that. This or that. This or that.
Come on, who's the black sheep? What's the black sheep? Know not who I am or when I'm coming, so you sleep. Wasn't in my realm or wasn't in your sphere. Knew not who I was, but listen here. The choice is yours. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. I think you can get with this because this is kind of fat. Where's the black sheep? Here's the black sheep. Even if we wanted to, the clock cannot be weak. Watch me swing like this. Why should I swing it like that? Because in fact, on me it might not attract. This or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. I think you can get with this because this is where it's at. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. You can get with this or you can get with that. I think you can get with this because this is kind of fat. Do, da, dippity.
Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. It is Black Sheep Rising. Oh, coming to you straight from Keene, New Hampshire, the Liberty Media capital of the planet. And it is episode 74. It's October 12th, 2014. My name is Conan Soliday. Let me introduce these two knuckleheads who I love so much. James Robin Hood Cleveland is here with the dog.
That's right. Always with the dog.
Keeping him. His tail is wagging like crazy, but I can see him settling down ever so slightly. We got to get him to that point where I don't reach over and slap him because
He's like in the Zen moment right now. I don't know what's going on.
Call him stupid.
Gotta smack that dog.
you got to smack that dog whenever his tail wags too much. Garrett Ian, of course, is with us. Still hasn't vacated the premises. I hear chatter. Don't want it to happen, but it's not going to happen, is it?
What's gonna happen?
I don't know. Gonna leave?
Leave
No?
what?
leave the vicinity. That's not going to happen, is it?
Oh, you mean the Keene area?
The Keene area, yeah.
Well, I think it's good to have headquarters in other parts of the world.
It's good to sow your wild oats.
Sure. I mean, the world's a big place, and Keene's a very, very small place.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something to be aware of. To keep one's mind active. You got to keep your mind traveling. And
You got to keep your options open. You got to learn from other people's experiences too. So I mean, it might be it's definitely a one mindset kind of a situation here in the area, and who knows what's going on other parts of the globe.
some strong language.
Maybe. So you two have something going on this Wednesday.
That's right. We're heading to the New Hampshire Supreme Court for the Robin Hood Inn.
And that is in Concord, New Hampshire. So that's going to be a little bit of a drive. But
What time is it? I don't even...
On 9:30, I believe, is when the arguments are scheduled to begin.
Okay.
So I'll probably be heading there early. It's, my old stomping ground, so enjoying the celebration there of being able to have advanced this activism to a point where the state itself is responding to it and reacting to it.
Yeah, that's really crazy that it's gone this far. Something as simple as it is, they just can't let it go, and they're gonna hold out as long as they can, because of course their money is infinite, or until it runs out anyways. But yeah, I mean, what do they have to lose?
Yeah, there's kind of another media storm too. I don't know how much. I had a couple of interviews with the BBC, so
It's been difficult to keep up with it since the beginning,
I
and
had to call in and do that. That was interesting. Boston Fox 5, I think, did a piece on it. And
well, I mean, if you think about it,
maybe some other
it
national.
just when you hear people doing good deeds who and are being victimized, they're being attacked by the powers that be. I mean, of course.
Yeah, but that's the narrative of the city, is their employees are being attacked, which is complete nonsense.
Well, I'm talking about you guys being attacked.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
And so these media establishments that's what they see. They see that these young individuals who are doing good deeds, they're working on their karma, are going out and saving people from being ticketed. I mean, however you look at it, whatever the reasons at the end of the day that you guys are doing what you're doing, you're still being attacked by the powers that be that are supposed to represent us and take care of us and protect us. And what do they do all day long? They attack the little guy. And very blatantly, they're going after the little guy.
Well, if we look to how the state has responded to these incidents, I mean, we do have the arrests related to no contact orders with parking enforcers where they took down Graham on a bail conditions violation. But other than that, as far as crimes related to Robin Hooding activity, we're seeing more and more people who are critics of Robin Hood condemning us being arrested and cited for their violent behavior and incites to violence.
Well, we'll see what happens. This show is not going to get out there. It'll be out the evening of the court date, which is too bad. The live streamers, of course, are going to get to enjoy whatever is said, but everyone else is going to find out afterwards. It's going to be history.
Speaking of crimes tangentially related to Robin Hooding, I just recently found out that there will be someone facing charges for an assault upon myself who is not for assaulting me during Robin Hooding, but for something later one evening while I was chalking. And that's Bradford Hutchinson, who may be familiar with the show. I know we've talked about him before. Specifically with
well, even
Graham and Rich.
To your point, real quick, Conan, the point about the show's airing on Wednesday, my understanding is that won't be the decision. That's just the argument.
Absolutely not. Yeah, it won't change. There won't be much
if
news
if anyone wasn't aware of what was going on and they actually wanted to, attend the event.
What'll be interesting to see is what the Supreme Court judges ask of the attorneys during the presentation. The presentation's what we've already seen before. That'll be like 15, 20 minutes of each attorney presenting.
What's fascinating to me, and maybe it's not unusual, the fact that the Supreme Court basically came back and said, recommended the parties mediate, quote unquote, instead of going to the court. But I think it's insane that, so even if we were to Robin Hood and not speak to the parking enforcement officers at all, they still want this zone around their enforcers. What if they just started arbitrarily adding people to the zone? Like someone comes and disputes a parking ticket. Okay, now they're in the zone too. We're issued you a no trespass order. I mean, like, to me, it's a really dangerous precedent, and it's just outrageous, the whole thing. These people claim they work for us, and then
no, they work for.
Obviously, they don't.
They're gonna protect their jobs first. That's the first thing on the list of things to do. And if they do a good turn at the end of the day, working for us, they'll get into that. Yeah, I think I ramped you up a little bit. I think your sound was down. Either you changed your mic position or.
Yeah, I think I was speaking a little bit away from it.
Yeah, go back to where you were.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's better, I believe. But, we'll see what happens.
We know what'll happen.
Okay,
Do we?
Sure. I don't expect why the decision would be any different from what Mr. Kissinger decided.
I don't know. Sometimes these things, it depends on, the flavor of the judge. I mean, he might not be a free speech kind of a guy. He might decide that, the harm was being done to the city employees.
A good point about this is it'll be a panel, a board of judges, a board of robes.
Is that how?
How many? 3?
5.
5?
Is that typical?
That's the Supreme Court of New Hampshire.
Oh, I didn't
There's
know
no
that.
other appellate court in New Hampshire, and all 5 of them, I believe, have the opportunity to ask questions.
Enlighten me.
Yeah, it's a unique body, and if there was an appeal from there, it would go directly to the U.S. Supreme Court in Washington, D.C.
And they have to decide unanimously that the decision is. I mean, how does their weight work afterwards? The decision-making process work afterwards?
They will issue something that we will receive in writing a few months from now.
But I mean, do they have to be unanimous in their decision, or does it have to be a majority, 3 against 2?
I think majority is what determines it. Could be wrong about that though, but I'm pretty sure.
So you're pretty confident that it's a done deal, as in your favor. That
sure. I mean, the free speech argument seems pretty clear. They want to classify it as a protest activity, whatever. They kept trying to ask how we ourselves as Robin Hooders identified the activity, and I didn't really care to define it.
I want to live in peace.
I don't know how the legal system and the culture that determines the law is going to define it, but I know that it seems pretty clear to me what side free speech is on, that unless you're doing something criminal, unless you're doing something threatening, that it doesn't qualify. Now, the places where they do claim these special rights, like abortion clinics, or even Planned Parenthood, I've seen protests in front of here in Keene, even though they don't do abortions, those are places where there's some sort of element that there may be violence anyway, where there's no insinuation with that with Robin Hooding. In fact, the court determined, or not necessarily determined, but demonstrated just the opposite. The parking enforcers pointed out that the only danger they've seen is people wanting to hurt us.
Right. One of them, which you're going to deal with.
Yeah. Speaking of that, you brought up Bradford earlier, and what's the situation there?
Well, I received a subpoena. I haven't really had contact with him or cared to since that incident occurred.
Robin Hood is funded by a vast underground cabal.
There you go. He's I guess you could say a conspiracy theorist here in Keene. You see him often downtown. He carries flags. And I was unaware of whether or not he had been charged. I filed a report the night he had grabbed me. I thought maybe this was like July or August. It actually turns out it was May. Like I went back to my old video and found it.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it was. I was surprised one night somebody grabs me from behind while I'm on the ground, while I was chalking, like bending down on the ground.
He grabbed you? I didn't
Grabbed
know
the back
that.
of my neck. Yeah, this was a pretty... I really wish I had been recording audio that evening. Fortunately, I wasn't, but I did have a camera with me, and I began it as soon as I felt safe. And it was strange. I mean, I wrote a full report on it that you can read linked in the video description from that evening. If you look up Bradford Hutchinson on Freeman TV Raw, there's a number of videos that pop up. The one that's in May at night of this year, I think May 20th maybe, is that video. And it was weird. He's getting charged with presumably assault. He hasn't had contact with me since then, and I believe that's because there might be a no contact order that I don't know about. I should really go to the court and pull the record on it. I mentioned in that report about the incident 2 Februaries ago where he waved a pepper spray canister in my face, and I caught that on video.
Wow.
I didn't report it at the time. In retrospect, I wish I would have, knowing that he would have kept up those sorts of incidents.
Why are we fighting?
Yeah, this would be a good time for a Dennis Hopper drop.
Well, all right. We'll go over the video. I don't know that there's so many drops in that video that you claim are there. I watched it.
Everything Dennis Hopper says in Apocalypse Now could be its own little drop.
I don't know about that. Well, we'll keep you guys at home and your listeners, up to date. This is definitely something this is a big deal.
Well,
it seems really silly and frivolous, but it's really
he was
really
on
a
a
big
suspended
deal.
sentence for an assault.
I'm sorry, not about Bradford, about the Robin Hood.
Robin Hood. Well,
Bradford's not a big deal. I mean, it's.
Well,
I saw him the other day. He has some. So he has like an American flag, and then he has.
I think Tibet or something.
Is it Tibet?
An army flag or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I was like, what flag is this? It really wasn't identifiable.
Sometimes
to me.
he has that one curled up, and it's just the U.S. imperial flag out.
So what does he do?
For money?
No, what does he do with the flag when he's not holding it?
He puts it up against something sometimes.
Does he put? Is it up next to the Robin Williams
the other
Memorial?
night,
Isn't that like disrespectful?
I was in the Keene State Library. It's like 11. It's like maybe 11 at night. They close at midnight. All the computers are occupied. Bradford's at one of them. His flag's up against the wall, and he's sitting in the chair like.
He's
passed right out.
Knocked out.
I really should have gotten a photo. It was a funny moment. I'm sure it repeats itself.
Did you hear me? I said get off my lawn now.
Old guys need to sleep, man.
Yeah, I'm glad they don't really bother him, even though I think he is dangerous and that people should be cautious around him. Like, I'm sure people get hassled at a lot of places for falling asleep.
Did you see this? How do you like this idea right here? How does that make you feel?
Yeah, the T-shirt.
Yeah.
Wow.
You should
They
talk
got
to
that guy to model your shirt.
Of course, this is Zazzle, so this is just crazy expensive.
Yeah.
Like $25 for a custom T-shirt. I got to figure out how to mass produce them, but not like I don't think I can handle 100 shirts. But I can't pay $25.
Yeah,
How much did they do it? $6 shirts. Do they have custom shirts?
I don't know what the deal
$6?
is.
They do, but I don't know if they're that good of a deal.
Yeah, and of course, what
They're
happens?
cheaper than that.
And of course, what happens to your artwork afterwards? Is that their property?
No, I think it's very mono. You wouldn't be able to do that design. You'd have to change it a little bit. It's too detailed.
For real?
Yeah. They only can do like one color basically, like this shirt.
Well, I think it'd be sharp. I mean, that does look sharp. And why do black T-shirts cost more, $5 more at Zazzle than white T-shirts?
Demand, probably.
Or
The
is-
dye, who knows?
I can't understand. And here they are, wool merchants, wool farmers getting rid of all the black sheep,
Yeah, I got my wool socks on.
and they want the white sheep because you can do anything with white wool. Black wool can only be one color. How do you like that nonsense? And look at this. Now they ramp up the the cost of black T-shirts by $5.
If you're getting a wool shirt, though, it's a pretty good deal because it's like real quality. Because cotton isn't the highest.
yeah, there's
quality.
no telling what crap this is. Because $6 shirts, as much as I love those guys, the quality of the shirts aren't very good. They're really thin, but well, they're only $6. I mean, you get what you pay for, and you're just gonna have to buy more than one, I guess. By the way, I do need to ramp. I only have the 3 shirts. I need to ramp my my arsenal up. Get a couple more designs. So anything else happen here in the good old Keene, New Hampshire?
Yeah, I'm working on starting a business with some other folks here. So that's keeping me busy.
You didn't build that. Somebody else made that happen.
Pretty much. It's actually funny because you always think of like Western Massachusetts as I guess if someone says Massachusetts, I always think like very government friendly, very quote unquote statist, if you want to call it that.
Oh,
but
yeah.
but the people of Western Mass, and it's like this in New York too. It's like this in a lot of places. They're really oppressed by like Boston. Like the people in Western Mass are completely different
And
than the people out
by the way,
east.
as far as
Illinois is like that with Chicago.
you know how we
a lot
do
of
business
places.
here?
Nobody will ever oppress you here.
Baltimore over the rest of Maryland.
Come if you're having a hard time in Massachusetts, Maryland, Boston, wherever.
Do you guys think that Manchester oppresses anybody? Like, it doesn't seem like an oppressive place.
It looks kind of dingy.
It's a
The
big
police
city.
there look scary.
Yeah, that's true. Their jail is one of the worst in the
But
northern New England.
I'd probably rather be arrested by them than New York police or Chicago police.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
speaking of
Or Boston.
speaking of dealing with the law enforcement, I mean, we deal with them all the time. I don't
Keene is
necessarily
comfy,
do.
so to
I
speak.
know the gentleman right next to me just dealt with him just yesterday. There was a 411 that was put out saying, "Get your asses over to James Cleveland's new place of establishment. He's got a little situation going on."
Trying to skirt.
Yeah, so basically, I'm sitting there working and I hear like someone pull up, and I'm thinking it's Jay or someone like that. So I go outside to see what's up, and I kind of come around the corner, and right there is a state trooper, like him in the car, and he's like taking a picture of my car. Or he appeared to be doing something like that. I didn't really see what he did exactly.
Checking your numbers, man.
Like he immediately like put whatever his camera or whatever in his pocket, and he kind of turned me. So I had no time to start recording, right? But basically he's like, I have an old police cruiser, and it was purchased like that. It has like police residue. It says police.
Yeah, the glue is still on there.
It's not really visible unless you're looking for it. It isn't like
yeah,
it
if you look
stands
at it
out,
at an angle, if you look at it in the right light, you can see it plain as day. But it's not there, and I don't know.
So yeah. Anyway, this vehicle it's not. It doesn't say police, and I'm not trying to trick anyone that I'm a police officer. So the guy's like, "Oh, you can't drive this, and if I see it being driven, I'm going to impound it and I'm going to ticket you." And I said, "Okay, well, I'm not trying to be rude, but could you please provide me the RSA you're referring to?"
Yeah.
And so the guy is like, "Sure," and he goes and sits in his car. I go back to what I'm doing. I come out a little bit later. I grab some stuff out of my car. He's still there. At this point, I'm like filming. I go back in. I'm like locking the door. You know. Eventually, he left. I didn't really hear him leave, but
so he eventually took off.
yeah, you sat there for like 10 minutes looking.
You didn't talk to him again. So I guess he's on the radio. He's on the horn calling his folks up. He's like,
You
"Hey,
got an RSA on that one there, Charlie.
yeah, isn't there something out there? Yeah, something. Is there something? No, there isn't. All right. Well, no reason for me to go talk to this guy again.
It's insane because this vehicle.
All right, you guys going to either take care of him or not. I mean, he can't be coming running back in there like that. He's going to start knocking cameras over, and then this old man is going to flip out.
But that's why he's the star of the show.
With this vehicle, no issues for like 5 months, but then
All of a
within this
sudden-
last month, it's just been like,
Well, this last guy was a statey.
that's right.
And
In
what-
full
and who
uniform
were the
or
other
in a
guys?
suit?
So I was pulled over for allegedly speeding in Massachusetts.
Allegedly.
I'm going to go fight that. Yeah, and that's something else I could speak of. So I'm driving, and I come around this corner, and there's like a cop outside of the vehicle, and he claims I'm doing 20 over in a work zone. Okay, well,
Allegedly.
first of all, the work zone wasn't marked. If you don't have signs up, how do I know it's a work zone?
I don't know.
Okay, like that blew my mind. And secondly, when I saw him, I slowed down, so there's no possible way I could be doing what he claimed. And he wrote on the ticket that he estimated the speed. So
It would be great if you had your
$400
dash cam.
ticket,
Well, whoa.
$400.
$400.
Holy shit.
Fines doubled in work zone.
Cha-ching.
Good
Yeah, so
God, man.
I'm gonna fight that, and hopefully they'll just drop it.
Well, I'm thinking if you get your dash cam footage, you can submit like the entire length of your drive and claim that you have to play that in court to demonstrate that there were no signs indicating it was a work zone.
No, here's my starting point. Here's my ending point. Google Maps says it'll take me this long to get to this point. Except you can see that I was like 10 minutes over. So I mean, come on, can you do the math? But even if that doesn't make any sense, just playing the entire trip in court would be very aggravating.
So there's a website, I think it's motorist.org/MA. And it's like a organization that basically tells you how to fight parking tickets. And in Massachusetts, you can request like all the training of the officer. You can request like his certifications, his entire record. So it recommends that you do that just so it's like they'll get to the point where like, yeah, this is not worth our time to submit 15 years of training.
There was one story I've been trying to get to talk about for the longest time. And it's old news now, of course, but and it's not even there anymore. My hometown, Melrose, Florida, neighbored the speed trap of the friggin' U.S.
I've driven through there. I've seen people pulled over.
Waldo, Florida, and like every single cop in this little town, all they are speedsters, speed trappers, and there's a big old sign out in front that says "Beware of the speed trap" and the whole nine, and that's how they make their money. That's how this little town makes their money. And finally, after all these years, my entire life, the actual officers came forward and said, "Hey, look, our police chief has been, illegally mandating that we." What's the word I'm looking for?
Quota. We have a quota.
There is a quota that is being delivered to us, and not so. It's not written down on paper or anything, but we're having to deal with this quota every month, and they came forward, reported the guy. I guess he lost his job. The chief lost his job, and then of course all the officers lost their job as well. So it's
Dissolved the department entirely.
I think the entire department is dissolved. The article, of course, is I guess after 2 weeks they don't exist any longer here at this Gainesville Sun.
One thing you think about dissolved departments, I don't know if you guys heard that the officer involved in the shooting in Ferguson, Missouri, he came from a department that had been previously dissolved.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, we took this action to take steps to prevent these bad cops.
Oh yeah,
from
these
attacking people and like.
Well, and actually, at least one of these cops got together and decided they would come forward. So at the end of the day, I guess
maybe they can get a job with a college or something.
oh, they're going to get a job in Gainesville, or they're going to be towns that are going to suck these guys up. They're going to have a job at the end of the day, no doubt. Now the police chief, I don't know about him, and he's the kind of guy you don't want to have a job.
Where PD may be hiring.
Well, yeah, if you enjoy the cold,
You hear they unfired the police chief there that they fired for being corrupt? Like the city council held a vote to unfire the corrupt guy and give him back pay?
How did that work? I mean,
I don't know what it is about where. It's like everything's voted for and it's really corrupt. Like the police chief was a voted for position, the city council, all that stuff's voted for. And they voted for this corrupt cop.
Yeah, but
that had been like falsifying documents and like destroying evidence and things like that.
Well, that's like that here in Kingdom. The police chief, Mayola, is appointed by the the city
He's
board.
not
right?
elected though. In where the town itself elects the police chief. So you'd think there'd be more accountability, right? Not exactly. The last one was appointed though because they like disposed of the other one through either resignation or whatever.
Yeah, and we know it. We know how.
And then he just got busted. Like the new guy they brought in from another state got busted for like domestic violence.
Yeah, but you know how. Yeah, elections appointed. I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter. We're being screwed royally. However you work at it.
Yeah, my election went
I
down.
think it's democracy rules. There's two of us and one of you, so you're fucked, Conan.
Yeah, my election, I went down in flames. I think you went down in flames.
Not really. I didn't put anything into it.
Okay, well, I put a lot of effort into it.
I mean,
and it was like a complete fucking Hindenburg disaster.
I think you put a lot of work in it. I did purchase some signs. I actually received some contributions late, and I decided that the signs that I was going to get one day, I should get them now. Otherwise, I would have felt bad that I got that money. So I went ahead and put it to use. And of course, I got my signs a week late. And I think they're pretty smooth signs. If you look right over here on the side of Garrett,
I'll grab that. Let's put it up for the camera.
I think they're pretty sharp.
Oh, that's the
Very.
Like how you can write your own message on that.
That's true. You got a multi-purpose.
So you've got. I think it's good colors, good bumblebee colors. They stand out.
Yeah, if you're gonna do political things, you might as well not put an office on it and just have your name so you could use it for whatever you want to use it for in the future.
What I'll probably do is I'll actually print out. I'll actually laminate something to stick in the corner. For whatever that I'm running for, because that really does confuse some people. If you don't tell them that you're running for school board or for city council or state rep or whatever, they're like, "Well, what's he running for?" But I mean, if you're going to the polls, you should know.
Well, to me, it's like if you're going to commit to actually vote for a person on the ballot, you might as well just write him in for every office, right? You don't know any of those other people.
Yeah. That's why I write Daryl W. Perry down on everything.
Well, I'm surprised to hear that, but if I trusted you enough
I'm not
to vote
writing
for
Cantwell
you,
down. Does it make you happier?
Well, I voted for all sorts of different people for all the different offices, but none of the ones that were on the ballot because I don't know those people. I don't trust them. They're going to win anyway, but whatever.
No, I didn't vote for any of them. So we'll. I guess I got like I don't even remember what it was, 120 or something out of. So it wasn't that bad, like 10% or something. And I run into people all the time. It's like, hey, how'd you do on the thing? I'm like, well, I didn't even know you knew I was running. It's like, yeah, I voted for you. And it's like, well, that's great. I mean, so considering that.
Yeah, it's a good outreach.
Considering that I didn't call anybody, I didn't get on the radio program there, or because I was really busy this season. Considering all that, I'm happy with the results. So it can only go up from here. I think more and more people, the kind of people who don't vote, the kind of people who don't monitor any of this stuff, they don't listen to the community radio programs in the morning.
They don't watch Cheshire TV.
They don't. Yeah. Well, and they don't do. They're at work, making that money, paying them bills, coming home, having a drink, going to McHugh's or whatever. They're living their lives.
They're in the rat race.
They're living their
basically.
lives.
Yep.
They don't have time. The people who vote are the people who benefit.
Well, I guess I'll throw them under the bus. The older people, they have more time. They probably
and they get more. They get
care
more,
a little more.
Look who gets the most benefits in this country. It's just look at what are all the laws are.
Who are they trying to stop the most?
They're favorable to corporations. They're favorable to old people.
I think things.
They're favorable to people like lawyers. These people and who are the ones who are voting? Who are the ones who are making laws? It's that's how it works.
Things will not change, in my opinion. If you just look at human history, it's always like you have change in social, political, cultural change. Usually, you have these great upheavals when people are desperate, like. You have to be spending like more than a third of your income on food, or maybe it's in half. There's like a huge percentage, like that's when you society start getting into the danger zones, and we're nowhere near that. And then the people who would be on the edge are getting food stamps and
yeah, but we are spending. It might not be on food, but a huge portion of our income is going to pay for stuff.
Well, I was going to say, if you look at
And
the
every
metrics,
time they add something to the entitlement list, right now it's the medical, and all that guy's getting thrown on the burn heap. Every time they add something to it, it's going to get harder and harder and harder on the middle class, and that's why the middle class is going away.
one of the privileges of the United States is that food relative to one's income is one of the lowest things here.
And that's exactly that. And that's a good point. So I mean, right now it's so easy to grow food that it can't be. I don't think you can add it to that equation. But something like medical,
the most exploited thing,
education,
is property.
Yeah, and that's why we'll see change probably in healthcare. That's why people are like, we need more Medicare, George Bush. We need Obamacare, Obama.
Yeah.
Like the things that, and there'll probably be some kind of education reform. It wouldn't surprise me if they're like, oh, college is free now, or whatever they come up with.
Reform. I love that. Everything is reform. It just never, it's supposed to work, and yet it just keeps having to be changed and tweaked. And
well, it's a new direction and a new day. What can come after Obama?
I kind of interrupted you.
But it's the same old. There's nothing different. It's the same old. Ramp up the prices of things. Throw more money at the situation, and maybe it'll go away. So it's not reform. It's the same. Throw more money at it. Maybe it'll go away.
What you're probably referring to is when I said property is the most exploited thing. Well, the property tax is what the government relies on the most in this particular area around most of the United States. So I'd say that's the way that people are most exploited, is through just their everyday living on an area within a house on property, because that's the thing that is most just taxed. That's the thing that's most exploited.
I don't think people realize it. If you just look at the income tax, and the payroll taxes, like myself, I'm paying like 40% right now, and then there's all this other, like the gas tax and power tax,
vehicle registration,
and water and vehicle registration,
phone tax.
It's insane. I wouldn't be surprised if it's over half my income a year.
And that's the thing, and that's why there's so many hidden taxes. Because if people did realize how much
the system is set up where you don't realize it. You just get your paycheck. No one looks. Well, sometimes people look at the taxes, but everyone just looks at the bottom line.
This is why I'm so pissed off, and everyone's always asking me, "Why are you so pissed off? You're not paying that much."
Well, people look at that bottom line
when you start adding everything up, it does turn out to be pretty wretched. And I'm not even close to paying out as much as, say, people like my parents are paying out. I mean, my parents pay more in taxes a year than I make. Think about that. That's pretty obnoxious.
Is it something that is sufficient though, or like they're getting an income that is equal to, or they're getting an income
they're making
from
they're making a lot more money than me, but I mean that's of course, and that's why they're paying more.
Yeah, because if it's just straight up a tax on property, it's like one is doomed into poverty.
The better you do in life, the more you make it your job, the more money you put into your property to improve the condition of improve the value of your property, the more you're penalized. It's like,
Right.
hey, thanks a lot for doing a good job in life.
It's an incentive for poverty. I mean, why would you want to live in an expensive place if it means you physically have to pay on a consistent basis for it?
It's ridiculous. And of course, the city nannies, and I know it's at all levels, but in our particular situation, the city nannies are interested in improving the value of Keene. They want to improve the assessed value of Keene.
Of downtown
and
Keene.
what do? They penalize you for actually improving your situation in life. They penalize you, so it's like, well, you're doing it all backwards. I mean, you should actually, so we had the problem with Marlborough Street. They're trying to fix that whole place up. It's one of the shittiest parts of town, and there's a reason, because it's downtown. No one wants to live there. They can't afford the tax rate that's there. So why in hell would you build anything there? I mean, you're going to come out in my direction. You're going to go North Keene, or you're going to go somewhere else.
And that's right around the area of that polluted Kingsbury property as well.
Exactly. And that's a very sneaky.
It's a hot potato.
It's a very hot potato kind of situation.
We're not sure if it's polluted.
Well, we're not.
Like, isn't that the city's position? We're not sure.
Hey, we don't
want it to be an EPA Superfund site. We don't want the feds to come in.
We're not
us.
even sure if the guy who purchased the property isn't buddy with maybe some of the city
They just automatically assume that whoever
bureaucrats.
polluted it wouldn't be responsible. They're like, oh, well, if it's polluted, who would have to pay for fixing it? Nobody knows. Not like the person who polluted it would be found and held responsible. It's in that sense like, oh, we know they're protected. We're not even going to bother that.
I am very leery of that whole situation. Now the city's talking about buying it.
Well, it's a file folder.
I think
it's a piece of paper in a file folder that polluted it, Garrett.
Well, it's also a giant piece of property with no trespassing signs up. They need to open that up for the people at the homestead and maybe fix it up themselves.
Maybe at least turn it into a park or something.
Yeah, it would be a nice place for a park right before you get to the police station on the Cheshire Rail Trail.
Oh, God. Did you guys hear about me and my little situation?
Oh, the roof is on fire?
The roof is on fire. This old man was out and about last Monday working on his chicken coop. Finally I've had a tarp. The thing is built, but I had a tarp over the rafters there to keep the animals dry. Because I was looking for some used tin, and I just couldn't find any, so I actually went down, spent about $200 at the old Home Depot, got some tin, cut it up, was putting it up, and
I'm shocked.
Yeah, I know. I was trying not to spend. I was trying not to spend any money on that project, but it happens. So, anyways, I was up there all day long, goofing around, putting slats on the rafters to hang the tin, and I guess it was a little right around the afternoon sometime. I was pretty much laying into the rafters, and I reached out to put my foot down and slipped on the top plate, and I went head first. This is 7.5 feet up. I went head first, went right through one of the slats that I had already hung, broke right through it, and then I did a little kind of a turn, and I landed on the back of my neck.
Oh, fuck.
And then just laid there for like 3 seconds and just thought about it. I thought about my situation. And I was like feeling for my fingers and my toes. And then the chickens started pecking at me. And I didn't land on any of the chickens, so that was a good thing. But yeah, I just laid there and I thought about it, about how stupid I was, and about whether I broken my neck or not. And I got up. I was all right. It helped that I landed in the cage because there's about 3 inches of just like mulch that's been building up over time, so it kind of cushioned my fall a little bit.
Yeah, roofing is one of the most dangerous things you can do. And honestly, I mean, if you're going to do it, it's fine, but you should get a harness. Oh, God.
So this is what I did to my leg, and I don't even know what I hit on the way down that would do this to my leg.
Looks like an electric guitar.
You said it looked like a tattoo before. That's a pretty ugly looking tattoo.
Is that like a bruise, or is that?
Yeah, that's a bruise. That's not scratched.
Abrasion. Wow.
But yeah, could you imagine if I had broken my neck and I was just laying in there and the chickens came and they were like,
they would eat you eventually, right?
They would have poked my eyes out. They would have feasted on my eyeballs.
I trust that G would have sensed something was wrong, chewed off his leash, and gone to get help.
And then Shauna, of course, she drove up like 20 minutes later, and she didn't even know where I was. I was out there working for a whole another hour before she finally walked out, and she realized that I was even out there. So she wouldn't have found me. I would have.
Oh wait, so you got back up and you went back to work?
Oh yeah. It's,
got right up back on the roof.
Got to get this project done. Man. But the thing is that I have been in so much pain. So anyways, that leg is nothing. I mean, it's just a bruise. I got one on my arm here too. No, that's nothing. It's the back of my friggin' neck that has been paining me all week, and it still hurts so bad. And I can feel just a little bit of a knot. I might have actually like cracked something, but I was so lucky. But the thing is that that's the second time I've fallen through a roof. The other time was in Honduras when we were running cable on their old rickety buildings, and we were running across the top of a building that we thought was structurally sound.
How high up was it?
It was a tall building. I think it was at least 4 stories. But
that's why you need the building codes, Conan.
Yeah, well, these buildings,
buildings would just be collapsing on each other.
That's why we need Fred Parcells running around, keeping us up to date.
I saw this thing from Yemen where they're demoing a building, and what they do is the little kids are throwing stones at it, and like it's insane, but it works. Like they're throwing it at like the load bearing wood, like they'll collapse a section and they'll start chunking them at the other one, collapse that section.
Well, I mean, yeah. And I didn't tell you what my problem was. So, anyways, here's the moral of the story. I was using the wrong tool for the job. I had my little like loafers on that are pretty much good for nothing, but I use them to walk back and forth from the chicken coop and all because I don't care if they get shit on the bottom of them. They've got no tread. They're like smooth. They're like baby bottom smooth, and that was my problem. When I reached out for that to grab that top plate and stand on it, just slipped. So there's your moral of the story right there. Use the right tool for the job.
Use the right safety equipment.
So I said I went back to work after I went back in the house, put my good running sneakers on, and now I'm good to go, except the pain. And hopefully the pain goes away because it's hard going to work every day and friggin' you can't lift things unless you know. I'll get over it.
Yeah, I injured like my back and my neck from doing push-ups. And that's like one of the worst injuries you can have is a back injury because I can't do anything. You know what I mean?
Everything is involved. You know, walking, sitting.
I can't do push-ups. I can't do sit-ups. I can't do squats. I can't do anything.
You can't do nothing.
I agree with Bruce Lee's philosophy that one should work their core most thoroughly because so much is built off your core and as well as your back. So,
well, what I was doing is
the only exercise I do anymore is squats.
Squats are good at working your whole body. It's. I was surprised at, like the ratio of like all the muscles you use that you don't even really realize with a squat, even though of course your legs are dominant.
Yeah, legs, back, even your arms. I mean, you're working everything, and it's just a core exercise that just works everything.
Wait, squats work your arms?
You gotta balance. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely.
If you're using a weight system,
okay.
Then sure, yeah.
Well, no, even if you're not using a weight, I mean, if you're doing a proper squat, and I definitely recommend if anyone's going to go do squats that they just watch some YouTube videos because there's science behind it all, and you can do it wrong and you can mess yourself up, you can hurt your knees, and there are different positions for if you're tall versus if you're shorty or you're thick, as to where you hold your knees, how far apart your stance is. If you're going over your knees or not, if your knees are past your toes. So there's a definite science behind it all, and you can hurt yourself if you don't do it right.
Portion of the show is for Daryl. You need to do some squats there, buddy. We know you got bad knees.
He cannot pick up a knife to cut a steak.
That's a Daryl squat right there. He's just gonna
cutting that steak,
taking bites, taking steak from.
We love you, Daryl.
From plate to.
You see me squatting over the table to eat that food.
Oh crap! Hey, you know what? I want to do something new today. I'm gonna play a little drop for us. I got an excellent donation this week, and I just wanted to give the man credit. If I can find the email. Nick donated to the show. He's become a honest-to-God contributor.
Is that him?
No, not to be confused with Nicholas Kirkpatrick, the Pokemon Battle Mage from Virginia. Nick, you're from Virginia, right? This is Nick from somewhere else in the country. Also a longtime viewer and super fan. Wrote in, Dear Conan, I've been watching the show since pretty early on, and I'm so glad to have learned about what you guys have been going on there in New Hampshire. Please keep up what you're doing because it is amazing, and it is also amazing that you have been putting out so much material consistently. Today I donated $50 to your show. It's not much at all, but it's all I could give right now. I hope it helps you, and maybe I hope it helps you get maybe a day off from work. Great show. Keep it up. P.S. You should have Ellen on more often. Thank you, sir. And no, $50 is a very nice contribution. It blows my mind that there are people out there who have been pretty much watching since day one, and actually getting some getting goodness from what we're doing here in New Hampshire. Dude, get out from wherever you're living and come join the fun.
Yeah, and I got to give you props too. I mean, I think it's great that you stepped up and like you are doing it consistently. I mean, it's a lot of work to do.
We
this.
haven't missed one episode.
So I'm glad someone.
This is the
recognizes
Shire
that.
TV of the future.
I think so. I mean, we just need to stop cussing so much.
To me, this show is like 100 times more fun than Shire TV. Shire TV, it was good. It wasn't fun though. Let's just be honest.
It was too political. It was too much work. It was too, yes.
There was no Vic Diesel and explosions.
So with Shire TV, did you ever receive a negative, or did Cheshire TV ever receive a phone call?
No.
Complain about it. Well,
No.
Black Sheep has already fucking blown that record away then.
KPF #1 as well.
Winning.
Yeah, it was only one though, just one. Yeah, and the question is, it is a late night show, so how many people are actually even watching it? People are going to sleep at that time. But I mean, it is on YouTube. I mean, it is.
Someone's watching it.
I mean, we're live streaming it right now. By the way, thank you for everyone in the live stream right now, adding comments. Yes, Nicholas is from Virginia. You need to quit your damn job and come up here, son. Just quit messing around, and quit playing Pokemon because everyone up here plays Dominion.
Yeah, Dominion is where it's at.
You got some competition right here.
Can't say I've ever played it.
But and I haven't played it yet. Even though I am kind of a card guy, but I don't mess with the actual physical cards anymore. I go straight to the computer games.
You think
it's just so much
society
easier? It's all.
Has society lost something though because of that?
No, I don't think so. Because I'm still interacting with people.
I'll play some board
and
games.
I can actually get more games out that way. I mean, I don't know. I mean,
I kind of wondered that because like I saw a picture the other day where it's like some busy train station, and it's like a meme where it's like one person's paying attention to the world and everyone else is on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm doing it too. I love my phone.
And have you seen the meme right next to that one? Where it's like 100 years ago on a train, and everyone in the whole fucking compartment is reading the newspaper.
Oh, Okay, so maybe it's like maybe it's human nature then, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, they're gonna get. Yeah, I don't have a problem. I mean,
these people are strangers. I don't want to talk to them.
I do most of my communicating here on the face space, and I think and I interact with more people than I ever have in my whole life. And some of them are good friends, and some of them are acquaintances, and some people are, and some are just networking, options. And I communicate with more people than I ever have in my whole life.
I agree. I'm all about the cloud. I'm ready to move on past. Let's move to the future, baby. Like let's go there.
I'm ready to upload, man. Quit messing around, or at least give me some implants.
My one fear about the uploading. Like, what is your consciousness, and like, would you lose that?
Yeah, we've talked about this on the show before. Is like what happens whenever you take the chemical element away from the formula. So right now, why do we do what we do?
So maybe if you're 75 years old,
with nothing to lose.
Yeah, where it's like you could then quote unquote upload. And then at least you
Did you hear me? I said get off my lawn.
There you go. You could get off onto the cloud there. Then there'd be no lawn.
Is that Clint?
That's Clint.
Clint Eastwood.
Okay. It's from Gran Torino.
Yeah.
No,
I gotta see that.
No, it's
you
from.
You haven't seen it yet?
Oh yeah, it is from that.
The movie is really good. Clint does an excellent job. I have to say, I was not impressed with the young actors. They were horrible. I mean, they were just horrible actors. They were not believable at all. But everyone else, the gangbangers, Clint, of course, playing his old Vietnam vet, racist.
No, he was Korean vet.
Was he Korean? Oh, yeah, that's right. He's a little young for. I'm sorry, a little old for Vietnam.
Because he had the he had the M1 Garand, which
I definitely
was like his service
a Korean
rifle.
War thing.
Yeah,
I definitely recommend it. To at least watch once. Now, I haven't seen it in quite some time. I probably won't watch it again. But I mean, that scene was very nice. The gang.
It's really good. I don't think I'll see it again.
So if you had to recommend one movie,
No, there are so many other things that I just got bitched at because I haven't seen the latest South Park.
Oh, well, you know, South Park you catch when you catch.
Yeah.
It'll be great whenever you see
have you
it.
seen that one?
I've seen the Ebola one. I
Yeah,
don't
that
know
was good. That was funny.
Wow, this whole Ebola crap. Ebola turkey.
I know that I'm terrified and want to stop.
Ebola and ISIS.
Everywhere I go.
They're just shoving it down our throats. It's fear porn, man. They're trying to scare the living bejesus out of us to get us to give up more of our rights to be protected from the bad people out there, the bad germs and the bad brown people.
Well, you could take the other view though. So, of course, it's a much different world. It's cleaner, but there used to be a pandemic much more often than there was. So there's an argument to be made that the world is overdue for a serious pandemic. The last major pandemic was the Spanish flu after World War One.
It seems like the flu it used to be a bigger deal every year. Like the flu is hitting, a bunch of people are dying, and it seems like past few years they haven't really done that.
The only time I got the flu, and it's like makes me believe the conspiracies, is when I got the damn flu shot.
I never got that thing.
The clockwork elves, all of it. I shouldn't even get into it.
Yeah,
I get the damn flu shot to prevent the flu because it's free from the college, and I get the flu.
Paging Dr. Faggot.
I don't know why anyone's taken.
I'm never getting the flu shot again.
If somebody says I want to stab you with a needle, just say no, thank you. Like usually the needles stab.
I think I've seen this study quite often. The only people who need to get flu shots are old people and maybe kids.
No, but then you get the flu.
Yeah, I know exactly.
And then it kills you. It's like a conspiracy.
Just don't get the flu, whatever you do. And if you do, medicate safely.
I think from October 1st until April 1st, you shouldn't go outside. You shouldn't interact with other people.
A lot of people don't because
instead of getting the flu shot, just don't go outside. You'll be fine.
No way.
I don't think we can live like that, son.
Oh, I just saw that episode with the no way.
Yeah, that's a good one.
No way.
That's pretty good. Well, guys, it's about that time. It was good having you on and all.
Keeping it peaceful and free in the 603.
I hope you stick around, Garrett. I hate to see good folks migrate off.
Well,
you're doing good work here, man.
When you say migrate off, do you mean another town or outside of the Shire?
Well, I hope outside town. See, I heard outside town. I hope it's not outside the Shire.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like there's some nationalism brewing here in the Shire, where it's like people are like everything must happen here. Outside doesn't count. And like the world's out there,
Hey guys, you've been watching Black Sheep Rising. Please go and visit the Facebook page, Black Sheep Rising / blacksheeprising.org, and give it a like. And, I'm putting pictures up there. I'm putting good clips up there and stuff. Join the conversation. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you want to see more of.
Check out G's Facebook page. Order some G-Coin.
If you want to see more Ellen, go ahead and leave me that comment. By the way, as far as that is concerned, Ellen was one town over. So it wasn't that big of a deal dragging her ass on the show. She is halfway across the state right now. I don't know how often that's going to happen. Of course, she is coming in on Fridays on the... she's still doing Free Talk Live, right?
I believe so.
I don't know.
Because I know Allie was doing that for like 2 weeks. She said she was going to do it every Monday, and that just didn't work out at all. It's a hard drive, man.
Nobody wants to drive across the country.
Especially for this show. So go to the Facebook page first. That's the way I prefer to do it. If you're like Andy, superfan Andy, and you don't have a Facebook account, well, you can go to the website, blacksheeprising.org. You're going to find everything there. You're just not going to be able to see and socialize with everyone as well. But it's there. The archives are there. The audio is there. The pictures and the whole nine.
You might as well get a Facebook, though, because that's going to be like the new chip on you. Everyone has to have a Facebook
That's
page.
The mark of the beast, the new 666 code. Get you a damn Facebook.
I've been keeping
Stop
it to
messing
Google
around.
accounts. The Google thing on the phone.
I haven't even, as far as like a Gmail thing.
Yeah, because I only log into Facebook through the browser. No apps, none of that. I don't.
Do you have one of those? Do you have a Google?
Log out every time.
A Google Plus account or whatever it is?
Yeah, you got to have a Google.
Well, I have one, and I just don't even think I've signed into it in like a year and a half.
It's worthless. No one uses that crap.
I changed around YouTube recently so that if you want to be contributing to an account, it needs to be like signed to a person. They can make you a manager. Like I used to be in on Freeman TV Raw. Now I'm a manager on Freeman TV Raw from a separate account.
Huh.
changing things around. They're doing the shifts on us.
If you would like to get in contact with me directly, email me, show@blacksheeprising.org. You can also leave a voicemail, 267-521-2771. Leave anything you like. We'll probably play it on the show, unless it's just obnoxious. We'll probably play that as well. But like Nick's, both Nick's and a couple of other anonymous contributors, if you want to donate to the show and help this old man out, there are 2 links there at the web page, PayPal and Bitcoin.
Okay, good.
Both easily accessible and easy to figure out. Help this old guy out. Help me take a day off from work. This equipment is...
So then he can work on his roof and finish the job.
or maybe I'll hire...
Finish the job.
Or maybe I'll hire Manuel next time to go ahead and take care of that business for me.
Exactly.
Then I can heal up.
Give Conan a donation so he can buy a freaking safety harness so when he falls off the damn roof, it catches him.
If you're listening to this and you would actually like to participate and watch the show live, we do this every Sunday night, usually at 8:30 Eastern Time. By the way, thank you all folks who are in the chat right now, throwing good information at us. I appreciate it and all. There's another option for you. So I mean, there's lots of ways to get Black Sheep. Pretty soon, I'm working on T-shirts right now. I got to get them T-shirts, man. I think that's the next step, and then coffee mugs.
Yeah, we got to get AKPF uniforms.
Yeah.
So, Mr. James Cleveland, Mr. Robin Hood, where can the folks find out more of what you've got going on?
Robinhood.freekeen.com, Facebook.com/Keen Robinhood. Check it out, donate. That's kind of the only real good way to contact me. I mean, if I don't know you, I'm probably not going to friend you on Facebook, and then I'll never see your messages. So that's...
You pay $1 to Facebook, but don't do that.
Donate to James Robin Hood Cleveland, and he might friend you on the face space. If they donate to you, will you friend them?
Yeah, and then I'll unfriend them later.
Garrett, where's your raw tube thing at?
Well, freeconcord.org is my website, and Freeman TV Raw with 3s instead of E's is the place where I put all my raw videos. So from there, you can check out the edited stuff. Aqua Keen. You know, they've been censoring me a little bit on YouTube. I don't appreciate that, but most of the AKPF #1s are up to date. I got to get some other ones up that they've been holding back on me.
Yeah, I've been real careful about the videos that I've been playing, and I haven't been getting flagged on. I think two. Oh, by the way, yeah. Speaking of, if you're watching this on YouTube, keep in mind that I changed my YouTube account about almost 10 episodes ago
from Conan
Soliday, and it's changed to Black Sheep Rising Podcast. And I've got 15 subscribers as compared to the 800 that I had on the old channel. So if you're not getting Black Sheep and you're wondering where the hell it's at, well, it's because everything's been switched over to a new YouTube channel. My old one is flagged to death.
What you could do is you could upload a few episodes and do the bait and switch, where they click on it and then it's like, you got to click on this other link. Have you ever seen that?
Yeah, like a teaser video.
I might have to research that.
Like people are like, oh, my other channel has a ding on it. Click on this one.
Well, I'll look more into that. I'm not really interested in uploading tons and tons of information. I might not even have it at my disposal any longer. It might not even be on my hard drive. Or if it is,
the episodes.
I have the raw content, but I have to like re-render them.
Yeah, I'd be careful with that. I watched this video where you lose a little bit of quality every time you upload and download to YouTube.
Oh yeah. No, I would upload. I would
the guy kept doing it a bunch of times until the quality degraded.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it was a neat little science experiment. Yeah, I wouldn't download the old program and re-upload it. I would re-render the raw content that I have still on my hard. I haven't gotten rid of anything, but the actual rendered video that I upload to YouTube, sometimes those get deleted because
how many hard drives have you filled up?
I've got a 3 terabyte there, and it's got some space on it.
That's only 3 terabytes over the course of this whole show?
No, that's just one hard drive. There's a stack of them, and that's just the last one that I purchased.
So you've put serious cash into hard drives for this show.
They're hard drives over time. I've spent more on the mixer and on the monitors. I could the webcams. I don't. No, it's not that big of a deal.
Okay, because I just got
as far as money that I've spent on the show, it's in time. Editing time and stuff like. And this isn't an easy edit too, because I have so many different channels, and I'm slapping them all together with Vegas, and it's not like a 30-minute process. Sometimes it takes as long, and especially if I like mess up. Like a couple episodes ago, I actually forgot to record the video, and so I only had the live stream to work with, and
reminds me of the Pork Fest thing,
and the audio was shit, so I had to. I actually inputted every one of the drops individually, and I had to like line them up and like pop them in. We were talking about like 50 drops.
Wow!
I spent about 3 hours on that thing. So I mean, yeah, and that was my fault too. But I wanted to get good content out there. So that's just how that works. Hey, let's close this show up. We got to get going. Yeah, and you guys did not watch. We were going to do a movie review, and you guys did not watch.
Oh, it was great.
The movie.
5 bags of popcorn.
You guys are horrible. I give you homework assignments, and you just can't do it. It's like what are you guys doing? Like work?
I always hated school, so I'm done. I'm done with that.
This is one of my favorite bands of all time, Nine Inch Nails, and I can't believe after 74 episodes I haven't even played Nine Inch Nails on this program. What's wrong with me?
It's probably like copyrighted.
Yeah, well, no, this actually is. I uploaded this one, no flags. This is a remix. This is the SHE mix, the She mix of the song "Every Day Is Exactly the Same." One of my favorite songs from Nine Inch Nails, and I really like the remix. It's pretty fabulous, actually.
You need to just get people doing karaoke versions of the songs that you want and have those in the show. Like, we're gonna listen to this song now.
If you like the music list that I played, by the way, I just uploaded, or not uploaded, but if you go to the website, go to the archives and go to the Muzak list, and it shows all the songs that have been played in the last 74 episodes. If you like the selection that are in that list, then you probably like the same music that I like, because I've been playing all the music that I like. If you can karaoke style any of those songs, send them to me, and they're good. Send them to me, and I'll play them on the show. Does it sound like a deal?
Cool. I like that idea.
James is thinking about it.
There should be a high-quality recording of the God Bless the TSA from Coca-Cola to Bud Light.
Oh, my Christ.
That can be played on the show.
Guys at home, thank you for watching. We will see you again next week at the same time. Good night.
Mic check 1 2. Do
That'll
I need
work.
to speak like Daryl?
Yeah.
To cut a steak.
To cut a steak. I don't have to fucking shit.
He cannot pick up a knife to cut a steak.